How's it going? Hope you're having a great day. And this is a companion commentary to my photo project, Ciphers and Stillness. So this is another project where I went into the archive. I think the only other one that I did that was the picture party project, which I did a commentary on that as well. But Ciphers and Stillness was different in a way where I had a photo that guided me. The picture party was more like, hey, I'm gonna kind of treat it like a party, like kind of like I'm gonna go through the archive. I'm gonna just grab some stuff. I'm gonna try to make some narratives. I'm gonna pair some photos and just kind of that was the idea of the picture party. And so Ciphers and Stillness was off of one photo, which I think is actually a way of I'm hoping to make other projects happen. This at the time of this recording, this is my most recent project. And so this main photo here that you see with the red window was the motivating factor of Ciphers and Stillness. And the name came up of just the idea of being still. And then Ciphers is just like the secrets, because I didn't want to name it Secret Stillness, I didn't want to name it like Secrets or like something like that. I wanted it to be something unique, something different, something that made you like say, "Oh, that's an interesting name," or "Oh, I've never heard that before." And that's how that came about. Just kind of messing around with titles and at things. I like the idea of secrets because I think this photo looks has a lot of that vibe, and then there's a stillness factor that I was building throughout this project. So, ciphers and stillness. Let's let's get right into it here. So go right into isolation, stillness, you know, secrets. Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of like again, ciphers and stillness. That's I want to get like right into it right away. And then, I just kind of yeah, I highly recommend like, if you go to my website, beastmidi.com, you can view these projects for free and really go through the photos and see if you can notice anything. See if you're like, why is this photo here? Does it have a meaning or does it not have a meaning? That's why, like, sometimes when you probably see like a reaction from me and I keep on going or like I'm talking about something and kind of don't fully, there's some things, and maybe it's my own thoughts, but that's the cool thing. Maybe your thoughts match mine or maybe it doesn't, but maybe you come up with your own um, thought on why a photo is in the project or why it's not in a project, or why it might not be something you're thinking it is. That's more so what I mean. Like, are these actually like paired because of this? Or are they paired because of that? Yeah, I mean that type of thing. So, um, so basically, where I want to get at where I was comparing it to the picture party. So that the photo from the beginning with the red window, that was a new photo I had, or I should say, a recent photo I had shot that like just was stuck in my head, and I went into the archive based off of that photo. So the picture party was all the archive, and pretty much so was this project. Like, but it was based off the idea of ciphers and stillness in that main image. This I don't know if this might have been a boo print at one point. I can't remember if this one was or not, but her expression is amazing. And these trees are awesome. This is a town out by me, Oberlin. It's a college town. Um, I always want to say it's a tough town to photograph in, but I got a lot of photos I really like from there too. So I always have to remind myself it's just photography is not easy. You know what I mean? Even though like I've gotten good photos there, it doesn't mean I'm always going to get photos there. And so I have to remind myself. Doesn't mean I won't get photos, but it doesn't mean I am guaranteed photos. So Yeah, this is yeah, I'll dig into this story. I won't I feel like I wanna talk about this in length another time, but I'll make this one, I'll trim this down story-wise. So this photo was shot in an abandoned building in Mansfield, Ohio, which is the same town that The Shawshank Redemption was filmed in, which is not the same. The picture party had a photo of a Shawshank spot. This is not the same day or even the same year. This is just, um, we were just in this abandoned building, shot the photo. Unfortunately, the photos I shot during this, um, were erased slash destroyed from a hard drive that busted. Super hardcore bummer. It still bums me out to this day. It's, because I don't know what I'm missing, which is, also a good thing. So, the photos that were salvaged were very low quality saved, not the originals. Um, they were from my older website, which didn't have I couldn't upload high res stuff, but the beauty is there's software now that you can bring resolution, bring detail up, bring all that up, and there's actually a few photos in this project from that, and this is one of them. So this was a highly pixelated image that was cleaned up, remastered, um, and brought back to life, and it makes me very happy to see this in this project. 'Cause this is just something again, it's one of those things you hard to imagine in a photo like this, but this is like a photo that would be, like, in my dreams. Yeah, I mean? That's why I love seeing this photo, and that's why I'm also I appreciate the s the technology we have today. It's so easy, I think, to where it's just available to not but, like, that's where it's, like, nice where I grew up with how hard it was to make things and how hard it was to edit things. And even when I knew I didn't have the originals, I didn't just like, "Oh, these are not good quality," and just get rid of them. Like, I just still saved them. So, a very long time like, this photo is probably from 2009, 2010. So, 14, 15 years later, I get it remastered. Well, I remastered it myself, but the software is available to purchase, to use. I actually think I used multiple pieces of software to make this clean and proper. So, I can talk about this for a long time, but yeah, that's the story behind this photo. And I love the red jacket. I love the reflections. I love this. This is actually from a window from way up high that just landed like this. So just it's crazy. It's what we found here. Some crazy stories about this. I'd love to talk about it some other time for sure. This is my son Ryder. Just having a good old time, throwing some sticks. And I talked about flea markets and garage sales, and yeah. So yeah, I wanna do a project on that. So that's so non I'd love I'm not even gonna say what it is, but maybe you've noticed already, but there's an also a theme, like like a blanket theme across this other than the ciphers and stillness, and I would love a comment on what you think it is. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I just like to know if you notice. Another great overland shot. To me, it's like it's yeah, I don't know. I love to talk about certain things, but sometimes sometimes not saying things is the good thing to do. About, like, your process. Not so much the process, the style, or both. Yeah, yeah. It's this is something I like too, like, just like how this is just cut off along the top. What's going on here? Uh, I know it's it's just like, yeah. Sometimes I think, like, with photography is a hard thing to, like, look at online. Like, I feel like I know I'm in my own world photographically. Like, I know I am because it's and I hope I always am. Like, I'm not trying to fit in with anything. I I guess I'll just I don't even need to really explain myself. I think I could just explain myself. I'm not trying to fit in. I yeah. So this is Stacy. Fortunately, she passed away. Um, Pure homie to the heart in high school. Yeah, it's super cool. Great times, great time. And pretty sure I'm not 100%, but I think this is a Mission to Mars poster maybe behind her. I can't remember. But yeah, good times. We used to have like a art crew. Uh, I talked about the art classes before, but we did have an art crew, and she was in that crew. And back then we would go to IHOP and just hang out. And we also hang out in the parking lot at high school. I used to drive this like 1980 Impala, like this big boat. I can't believe I drove that thing. That's what I had to drive to get my driver's license too. It's insane. They had bench seats, which is awesome. And yeah, I just remember just hanging out in the parking lot, and we just like we'd have our art stuff out, like on the trunk of my car. Just so cool. Like I don't, that's a cool vibe. You know what I mean? Just thinking about that. This is another one of those revive photos, and it turned out really great. Because this was like another one of those lost photos, and I really like this one. This was like actually a what do you want to call it? Like a planned photo. Just had this idea. I don't know why. There's actually behind the scenes. I think it's on YouTube. Of I had a hose and I was spraying this water and shooting this photo. Like I just had this idea of like a girl laid out outside of her car in the rain. Um, I don't know why. Sometimes I just think of these ideas and again I acted on it. And again, I love to see if you know what the theme is. The blanket theme. 'Cause this is part of that. Like so many things got tied in to the ciphers. Like that's the beauty of making having a large like it's not even like body of work's not the right term because I feel like that's probably like a project, I guess, but like my library of work and going through the idea of the ciphers and stillness and what I'm looking for. I'm going through my extensive library and not even realizing a photo like this photo I shot many years ago, like really fits in perfectly to this project. It's just interesting how that happens. And I think that's why it's important. Like, say if you are a photographer, to just keep making photos. And if you're like someone who draws pictures, or paints or writes, I think it's just continuing to work, continuing to make things because it can tie into something else. It can spark another idea at another time. I think it's just, putting the time in and making work is important. I remember this person like kind of scared the crap out of me. Uh, like in a funny way, like I was just like walking. I just remember like out of nowhere, it's just like, dude, the photo happened. And I was like, well, it's kind of turned out kind of cool. I love this. Again, like this isn't. I think this is a Goodwill maybe or a Salvation Army. Again, to me, that's totally cool with being in that process that of doing like a garage sale flea market thing that eventually I'll tie together down the line. So interesting to me, like how like places are laid out. just having always having a camera ready for sure. And that is my photo project, Ciphers and Stillness. This one was a very fun project to put together, and um, I just want to thank you for you know checking out these companion commentaries. And going forward, I'm gonna definitely make them with my upcoming projects. Going through this, doing these commentaries has been its own source of inspiration because there's stuff I hadn't looked at in a long time. Especially like, I remember talking about when I was going through those original zines, like I hadn't even opened those and so long. And it's cool to revisit these projects differently than, just putting things together to update the website when I put all these available on the site. And to actually like go through them and just talk. I think just talking about them too, because like I spent the time, making them, laying them out, and doing and a lot of time is spent with that. But like dragging and dropping it into my website, there's not much thought in that. I'm just okay. This is the layout. I'm putting it into my website and moving on. But like actually, like it's almost like doing a commentary. Like I'm trying to bring some type of you know um, information behind the scenes, just like some type of thoughts to each project as I'm talking about them. And it makes me look at the projects differently because they're completed projects. Going over the vibe I was feeling and viewing them now. Even I'm having my own thoughts on it now. Obviously, with these different projects and so it's been a fun experience going all through all these projects. This is my 22nd photo project here. They're doing 22 commentaries and going through this has been um, very fun and also its own type of like education, like seeing the progression in storytelling and being able to make like I made this project, Ciphers and Stillness, was made off of one photo. And so I wasn't doing that, you know, earlier on. And so, there's that, seeing the growth of an artist, or my art over time has been cool to see too. Because it's hard, you never really like spend that time to reflect on your own work because like when you're an artist, you're always working. So this really forced me to kind of be almost the spectator in a way and give insight as I'm doing it. So, anyways, you know me, I can talk about this stuff forever. So, I want to thank you for hanging out. Again, check out bsmitty.com. All my projects are there. If you watch these commentaries, I know you know this, but I have to say it anyway every time. My projects are free. Check them all out. Go through the photos, listen to some tunes, especially like this project be a good one. Have some type of like, I don't know, good vibe on there. I don't know. Throw like the main title theme to The Shining on or something. I don't know. Just throw something on there. Or that end song where they zoom into the photo of of Jack. That like I don't even know. I don't know if it's jazz music, but like I can hear it in my head. Like it's just like that classical music. That'd be a good tune to put on while watching or while going through these photos. And anyways, I'm on Instagram at OGBSmitty. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next video.